There was a time when the wizarding world was terrorized by a dark wizard who represented ultimate, terrifying power. Voldemort wiped out anyone who stood up to him, prioritizing absolute dominance and control above all else. Yet this seemingly unstoppable, world-ending force was miraculously defeated by a defenseless infant. 10 years later, that same baby is an 11-year-old boy living in a cupboard under the stairs. Harry Potter spends his days being bullied by his cousin Dudley and cooking breakfast for his aunt and uncle, completely unaware that magic even exists. We have a terrifying Dark Lord capable of unimaginable destruction on one side, and a scrawny kid wearing hand-me-down clothes on the other. How exactly is a deeply ordinary, powerless boy supposed to stop the ultimate evil? The answer requires looking closely at what the wizarding world actually considers powerful. When Harry arrives at Hogwarts, he uncovers a plot revolving around an ancient artifact, the Sorcerer's Stone. Created by the alchemist Nicholas Flamel, the stone possesses the ability to grant immortality. This diagram illustrates how the stone produces the elixir of life. By continually consuming the elixir, the drinker artificially extends their lifespan into an endless, unbroken loop. It offers endless survival for anyone terrified of dying. That promise of endless survival draws Voldemort to the school. He doesn't arrive as a conquering Dark Lord, though. He sneaks in as a literal parasite, existing solely as a face clinging to the back of Professor Quirrell's head. To maintain even this pathetic half-life, Voldemort ventures into the dark forest to drink the blood of unicorns. Slaying a creature so pure to save yourself exacts a terrible price, cursing the drinker to a miserable existence from the moment the blood touches their lips. Voldemort views the stone strictly as a tool to regain a body and escape this cursed reality. His absolute terror of death drives every decision he makes, leaving him completely blind to the very traps designed to stop him. Hidden down a forbidden third-floor corridor, the stone is protected by a series of enchantments. Headmaster Albus Dumbledore designs this obstacle course to test a person's character rather than their raw spellcasting ability. Take the Devil's Snare. When the trio falls into this deadly, constricting plant, fighting back physically makes the vines crush them faster. Surviving it requires Hermione to remember her herbology training and stay perfectly calm under pressure, relying on intellect over brute force. Advancing past the giant wizard's chessboard relies entirely on Ron taking charge, strategizing, and willingly offering himself up to be struck down by the opposing queen. He sacrifices his own safety so his friends can keep moving forward. Look at this logic flow of Dumbledore's final failsafe, the Mirror of Erised. The mirror operates entirely on the user's deepest desires. On the left side, if someone looks into the glass wanting to use the stone for wealth or immortality, they are trapped in a loop of seeing the prize but never getting it. On the right, if someone only wants to find the stone, the mirror freely yields the artifact. Professor Quirrell stands in front of the glass, consumed by his master's greed to use the elixir of life, and gets nowhere. Harry steps up, wanting only to keep the stone out of Voldemort's hands, and the artifact drops right into his pocket. The defenses hold because they require intellect, sacrifice, and pure intent, traits a Dark Lord built on selfishness simply cannot comprehend. When Voldemort realizes Harry has the stone, he orders Quirrell to kill him. The moment Quirrell lays his hands on the boy's skin, he recoils in agony. His flesh burns and crumbles to dust under Harry's touch. Harry doesn't cast a spell to do this. As Dumbledore later explains in the hospital wing, the defense mechanism was put in place 10 years earlier, the night Lily Potter sacrificed her own life to save her infant son. That singular act of supreme selflessness left an invisible mark on Harry. It is a powerful, ancient magic that lives directly in his very skin. Love. Voldemort operates entirely on a frequency of parasitic greed and fear. A being so thoroughly corrupted physically cannot endure the manifestation of selfless love. It literally burns him, proving that the magic of protection is overwhelmingly stronger than the magic of destruction. Following the battle, Dumbledore and Nicholas Flamel agreed to completely destroy the Sorcerer's Stone. They recognize that extending life forever is not actually the ultimate goal of a wizard's existence. This philosophical worldview is woven straight into the structure of Hogwarts itself during the end-of-year House Cup ceremony. Dumbledore stands before the school and distributes last-minute points to Gryffindor. He rewards Hermione for her cool use of intellect under peril, Ron for a masterful game of chess, Harry for pure nerve, and Neville Longbottom for the immense bravery it takes to stand up to his own friends. A quiet, scrawny 11-year-old kid defeats the most terrifying force in the wizarding world, because, in this universe, true magic has very little to do with dominating others or living forever. It is simply a conduit for human virtue.